So in this video, I wanted to do a quick review of this pen. It's called the Ohto GS02 or GS02, and this is a metal pen from Ohto, made in Japan. Sells for about $25 right now. It's relatively new, and it seems like it's been pretty popular. I've got a number of requests for a video about it, so it's definitely something people have noticed. And you could buy it a few different places right now. So for a while it was hard to find. Now you can get it, again, about $24, $25 in the US. It's an all-metal, retractable pen. It comes with an Ohto refill, which is a pretty big deal. We'll get to that in a few minutes. And it's a really cool-looking design. It has a number of features that I really like and that have been gaining some popularity over the past few years with sort of like upgrade and executive style pens. First, you probably noticed the color. I bought it in this color. It's called Mint. It comes in a few different colors. I really like this one. It's distinctive and definitely pretty nice looking. It has a nice metal clip, all metal hardware up here, which is really cool. Pretty nice click action. When I first got it, it had some kind of friction as I was pushing down, kind of a metal on metal feel, but that has gotten better over the past few weeks. So that's good to see there. It's cool chrome metal ring, looks really classy. The body itself, I would say, is the main selling point of the pen. So it's all metal. It's cylindrical at the top, and it tapers down. I guess it doesn't really taper. It expands as it goes down, and it goes from a cylinder into a hexagonal shape. And you could see that hexagon forming as it goes towards the grip area. Also, it's widening as it goes towards the grip area. That's a feature we've seen with a few different pens, kind of like the Uni, the Edge, the Jetstream Edge, that widens, and a few other ones. I'm probably going to have to do a video about that as a trend, which I think it's a very cool idea. Pens that are narrower at the top and they widen at the bottom. This makes it comfortable to hold. It also keeps your weight distributed towards the bottom, which helps with comfort. And also, if you have like pen accuracy problems, they say it helps a little bit. But usually it's more like aesthetically. It looks kind of cool, especially when it's very subtle like this. And then it gives you a little bit of extra width to hold without having to have a very wide or bulky pen. The front matter here, also all metal, which is pretty cool. Next to a laptop and keys and all the other stuff like that. Notebook rings and no problems there. But I have seen some people complaining about chipping. Opening the pen up, there's a little bit of metal on metal feel here, but you could write on this with a little bit of pencil and that'll go away. There's your spring. And here's that refill I was talking about. You're getting an Ohto gel refill. It's the ceramic roller gel refill in the, I think it's a 0.5 millimeter size. The model is the PG-M05NP, and notably, it's a needle tip. I think Ohto is kind of known for their needle tip refills, as you might have seen in like the Ohto Horizon, which is a really popular retractable pen, cheaper than this. And for a bit, it was hard to find, but you can get them now. Anyway, so it has that needle tip refill, which I like a lot. It's not my favorite, but it's definitely a high quality refill. It's a gel refill, in case that wasn't clear. So looking at that pen body, we could see it's a nice thick piece of metal. It's hard to tell what it is. Probably aluminum, based on that light color and the thickness of the body. But again, it's definitely kind of hard to tell. Everything is really nicely manufactured. I have no problems with the general, I would say, like appearance of the pen, but then also how it's made. Again, this piece, the button piece, had a little bit of friction that I didn't like as I was pushing it, and I was thinking about oiling it or putting some kind of silicone lubricant there or something like that, and I held off, and I'm glad I did, because after a few days, whatever was going on there was that sort of metal on metal feel. It has gone away. So it's not perfect, the click action. You could probably hear it, just a little bit of sort of kind of like that metal on metal grindy type feel, but it's definitely not that bad. And you're seeing a little bit of sort of shininess up here. So I think it's just starting to wear a little bit, and I think it will get better over time. Past that, I would say the pen is pretty comfortable to hold. I like the hexagonal shape. It's definitely, I would tend to go hexagonal over a round shape. I like knurled even more, but that wasn't an option here, and it definitely would have changed the aesthetic of the pen. Has a very clean, modern look to it. Again, it definitely reminds me of that Uni Jetstream Edge, and I think it is sort of going for that as far as like competing with that pen, but that Jetstream Edge clearly has the 0.28 millimeter refill, which is skinnier than this. They're also they both have that sort of needle tip look to them, but this one is all metal, where that one is not all metal. That, if you remember, has the sort of plastic upper, I believe. I don't have one with me right now to compare. Here's how the Ohto GS02 comes. It's a pretty cool looking box. The pen is sitting here exposed. We see it is made in Japan, roller gel. Mint is the color, 0.5 millimeter refill. Ohto since 1919. That's pretty cool. And then we see the refill here. And the model GS02-G5-MI. So GS02, the model, G5 is the 0.5 millimeter refill, I think. And then MI is just, I believe, the mint color. And not too much else in here. It doesn't come with a spare refill or anything like that. It's kind of, it would be nice for a $25 pen to come with a spare refill. And a lot of cheaper pens do, but this one neglected to. So, I mean, it's easy enough to find more refills, but it would have been nice to see one in there. Just on the sizing, this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5 inches. That puts it at a very standard sort of length, although the pen, it's not a giant pen by any means. Here's just some quick comparisons from some of the, I don't know if there's their direct competitions. A direct competitor might be something more like the Rotring 600. These are just pens I had lying around. And here's like a pencil for reference. Basically, we have the Sharpie S-Gel in metal, and then the Zebra Sarasa Nano or something like that. I can't quite recall. So the GS02 is definitely a smaller pen, which is, I guess, like, I find it to be fairly comfortable to hold. I do like using it, but it is a little bit on the small side. Again, similar to a Rotring 600 or something like that. When you're writing with it, I've found the pen to be quite nice. It's a needle tip, so you're not going to have that same level of smoothness that you might expect from a gel refill. But again, it's a 0.5 millimeter, so you're just not going to get the smoothness. I don't know if it's sold in a 0.7. I think it might be, or if it's not now, it will be eventually, and I have not seen it in a 1.0 millimeter. But it uses a Parker style refill, so you could just take this refill out and put in whatever your preference is. If you want something wider or smoother or wetter or drier or non-needle tip, that will definitely be available to you. There's not much play here. If you look here between this black cone piece and the surrounding part, so the interior part of that refill, there's just a tiny bit of wobble, but it's a really nice amount of clearance. So there is basically no tip wobble, which is nice it just makes the pen feel really solid when you're writing with it, and I do like that. Sometimes people complain a lot about the clearance or the level of gap between the refill and the tip, and it causes this wobble. People find it to be very annoying. I don't blame them. I do find it to be annoying as well, and this pen's not bad there. There have been numerous complaints about some other pens in this price range, particularly the Rotring. I think the 800 tends to be the worst with it, but it's definitely an issue with some manufacturers. And both of those pens are made in Japan at this point, so it's not like a regional thing, or it's just like a manufacturing thing or a pairing between the refill and the pen body. So this is the Ohto GS02 2.5 millimeter. Again, nice, consistent refill. It's a high quality refill. Not the smoothest, but when you're going with 0.5 millimeter and a needle tip, you're just not optimizing for smoothness. Here's that Sarasa Nano. This is a 0.3 millimeter, but it's a similar pen. It is, I mean, this is obviously not a $25 pen, but this has a smaller tip, has some metal hardware. The Nano is sort of an upgrade from the standard Sarasa. And so this is the... So you can see the difference. The 0.3 is definitely smaller. And now we have an S-Gel. That's moving up to like a 0.7. Again, these aren't like these comparisons are really just for reference purposes. If people are really into the GS02, we could dig into some more direct comparisons in the future. Okay, so for $25, I think the GS02 is probably a little bit overpriced, but I understand why it's priced like this. You're getting a full metal body, metal clip that actually works quite well, metal button hardware, which is really nice, and Ohto refill. It's probably worth $5 or $6 on its own. Plus, you're getting a really cool matte paint job. We'll see how well it holds up. I haven't had any problems, but we will see over time. I'll try to do some more coverage about this pen in the future. So I definitely understand the price, and I definitely like the pen a lot. And as I've noted before, the issue with pens in this price range is there's just very stiff competition, and there's a lot of nice pens out here. You can get a Pilot S20 for about $20, $22, sometimes $19, $20, around there. And I think that pen is almost unbeatable in this price range. So there's just a lot of competition out there. But if you're looking to get something really cleanly designed, it's going to be tough to beat this Ohto pen. And just a nice addition to the price range. I'm glad to see Ohto making some moves. So thanks for watching.